Well, I'm heading off to a pumpkin patch to meet my friend Karen, and we're going to pick out a pumpkin and we're going to carve that thing into a jack-o'-lantern. Now you might say, is buying a pumpkin and carving it into a jack-o'-lantern the high art of screwing around? Well, no, it's screwing around a little bit, but it's certainly not taking it to any kind of extreme. But recently, people have been finding very unique ways of smashing pumpkins by launching them out of mechanisms, a hobby called pumpkin chunking. And there's a whole competition for that and so on. And people have been building mechanical devices expressly created just for destroying pumpkins. Now that constitutes the high art of screwing around. And we're going to be doing a little investigative reporting on that, and we may be destroying a few pumpkins in the process. And that, I think, constitutes the high art of screwing around.
One of the more amazing fruits that you can find out there is the pumpkin. I think everybody enjoys the taste of the pumpkin, and it's heavily associated with the Thanksgiving holiday, pumpkin pie and that sort of thing, the wonderful spices used in the fall taste. But most pumpkins end up turned into jack-o'-lanterns. Pumpkins have been carved into jack-o'-lanterns since the 1600s. Actually, the original jack-o'-lanterns were carved out of turnips. That didn't work out super well, so later other gourds were used, ultimately ending with the pumpkin. And so the jack-o'-lantern has joined other fun Halloween traditions like trick-or-treating or lighting candles on the graves of the dearly departed. The jack-o'-lantern really kind of came into its own in 1820 when it was used in a story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The headless horseman carried a jack-o'-lantern, and after the disappearance of Ichabod Crane, all that could be found was the smashed pumpkin head. Oddly, smashing pumpkins has also become kind of a popular Halloween event. Halloween has also been associated with vandalism and tricks. And, I don't know, grabbing somebody's jack-o'-lantern and smashing the thing just seems to be an appropriate thing to do with it. This has led to an interesting new hobby and competition called pumpkin chunken, which is kind of an abbreviation of pumpkin chucking, where machines are used to see just how far you can actually throw a pumpkin. This device is called a trebuchet. Now, a trebuchet is kind of a modernized catapult. The catapult's been around since, like 500 BC. A catapult uses a spring. A lot of them were just sort of an overgrown bow, but they could use a tightened rope or an actual physical spring, and then they would toss a rock or an arrow or some projectile down at the enemy. The trebuchet came along about 500 years ago, and it's just a modernization of the same idea. In this case, a huge counterweight is used instead of a spring, and this makes the thing much more efficient, especially when it comes to tossing pumpkins. Several giant international competitions are held. One of the largest is covered by the Science Channel on cable TV. Do check that out. Runs on Thanksgiving. What else? You see, these pumpkins are sort of left over after Halloween, and what better thing to do with them after the event than smash them? As a matter of fact, Schmidt's Pumpkin Patch here is going to hold on November 1st a celebration called Total Pumpkin Destruction, where you can destroy all these leftover pumpkins. And you can use the trebuchet if you feel so inclined. I suppose you can also just stomp on them, throw them in the air, run over them with the tractor, whatever you feel like doing, to just destroy a bunch of pumpkins. So anyway, we did get our pumpkin and we did carve it into a jack-o'-lantern, and it did manage to survive for about an hour before some kids threw it out into the street.
Well, there you go, taking this ancient mechanism of war, the trebuchet, and repurposing that for the express purpose of seeing just how far you can toss a pumpkin. That's pretty darn cool. Well, if you haven't been over to the web channel, pop over to the web channel. It's toymantelevision.com. On the YouTube channel, if you're watching from there, there's a link right down in here that says Toyman Television. That'll take you to the channel, and from there you can subscribe. A blue button is appearing just about now right up in here too that says subscribe. That will do the same thing. And of course there's the Facebook page, and you can follow and like and those kinds of things. Well, I'm not sure how you found this particular movie on the internet. I sure as heck hope you didn't find it boring. And I'll see you here again in 1 week with another fine example of screwing around. I'll see you then. Bye.